G'day folks, Tony again here for more Star Control 2. We have spoken with the Melnorm, we've gotten a bunch of new stuff, but we have not explored this system yet. And typically the systems where we encounter the Melnorm tend to have some pretty groovy planets in them. So let's do a little bit of searching, seeing as we haven't actually collected all that many things on this trip yet. In fact, I think perhaps we haven't actually collected anything thus far. So hoovering up whatever we can. Let's not land on that planet because that is just terrifying and none of it is worth that amount of stuff. So this golden planet here I'm hoping is going to be a treasure world, and we can use that at the very least to restock on some fuel. That looks like a urea world, doesn't it? No, a lanthanide world. Okay, that's still not too bad. That Class 6 tectonics is going to be absolutely terrifying, though. I don't think that there's going to be much that's survivable there, but let's just try a really quick foray down onto the surface. Okay, so again, more fire trails, and again, we're going to ignore it. So as we've said before, the particulars of the Melnorm being on these larger starred systems means that they are fairly easy to spot and to remember in case we wish to return to them later. So maybe we could get down here and grab some of this stuff. Again, with the fire trails, we did get a tiny little bit of carbon there, so that was fortunate. But all of those clearly beyond our capacity to do anything substantive with, at least without some upgrades. So let's do just a full explore of things here. Lots of moons to choose from around this gas giant, which means that there should be plenty of goodies here for us to harvest. Just hopefully, all these weather and tectonics are just off the charts here. So clearly this is something that we're supposed to return to when we have a few more upgrades. Pardon me. I'm hoping there's going to be at least something here that has anything reasonable on it. We do have a ship that's a little tougher. So maybe what we might do is we might just preference these golden moons in case it is a treasure planet. It isn't. So this one's going to be generally terrible. Look at that weather and nope. No, thank you. Whoops. Surely something here. There's got to be a treasure world here to make this little foray worthwhile. I mean, the universe honestly doesn't care. That does look like a treasure world, though, so lovely. That's exactly the kind of thing that we want to see. I'm assuming there won't be any biologicals, and there aren't. So lots of goodies for us to collect on this one, and hopefully this should be fairly straightforward. I was wrong. Goodness me. So Class 1 tectonics, but just an absolute nightmare of stuff. That was highly unexpected. Let's see how bad this is. All right, so losing things at a great rate of knots there, that doesn't seem advisable. So I really didn't want that. Your arrival was predicted by our Outso Crystal's vibrations. We already know why you are here and what you need from us. However, etiquette requires that we act as though we are ignorant of your desires. Your present balance is 17 credits. Wow, it just got real there at the end. Now, what can we do for you today? You can leave me alone. Goodbye, Trademaster. Yep, pleasure. Likewise, thank you. All right. So clearly, considerably hazardous location here, but we are going to keep having a look at things on the off chance that we find something good. The Melnorm really want the location of rainbow worlds. Interesting. Presumably there isn't going to be one here in a system where they're floating around. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. All right, so this appears to be the every planet is on fire system. I think we're going to leave that be. The Pekunka heading back in the other direction. which is nice. We are ways away from anywhere, though, aren't we? Considering we're all the way over here, perhaps we can do a little bit more exploring. How many fuel is it going to take to get there? It's going to be 4.7, which is still plenty in the grand scheme of things, and it's also not in anybody's particular territory. So we'll do a save. I think once we fill up the next screen, it might be time to take a bit of a shortcut on these. Although I am just a little bit paranoid that if we don't have a long form callback on a save file, that we're going to work ourselves into a non-progression dead end, which is a thing that you certainly wouldn't expect in a game released in 2018, but this wasn't released in 2018. All right, I can't remember how things were in hyperspace. Doesn't look like we've got anything else immediately on our case. There was a second very tiny star system next to that one, which I didn't realise, otherwise we would have had a look in it. And this one here shouldn't take terribly long. It looks like there is actually a second planet in here, though. Very, very close into the sun and very hard to see. Let's investigate. Just sitting there all by itself. How curious. A telluric world. That is at quite an angle. 41-degree tilt. And it looks like those might be some precious metals on there, but, oh, and some biologicals as well. Class 4 weather and Class 4 tectonics. Looks nasty, but we'll try it anyway. Okay, so those tentacle things are definitely hostile. I remember seeing them before. Oops. So we'll pick up all that fancy stuff. We only lost 2 folks, and I think that might do it for now. So the very close to the star system planet with the terrifying tentacled mushroom creatures on it. That was fun. What about Planet 2? Surely not as terrifying as the previous one. Would be nice to get a larger fleet too. Super dense world. Well, I'm not super dense enough to land on that, because that would be madness. As curious as I am to see what Class 8 tectonics looks like, no thank you. Can we actually see that tiny one here on the... I'm not sure that we can. Alright, so we're going to go here. And then we might just check that one back down here again, and then I'd like to go back to Earth, and I think I'd like to go up around this section up here, because this area down here is starting to feel very congested and very full. The E-Hut currently sort of hostile to us. The Vux definitely hostile, and although we are going to want to go and find Admiral's X, we probably don't want to be doing that just yet. I think up here seems like the only other sort of nearby area that we haven't really looked into yet. So that seems like a winner for the current state of play. All right. Fly like the wind. Let's find just something overflowing with riches, thank you. Overflowing, I say. It's not a bad start. Lots of planets all clustered together there in the middle. I mean, that will reduce our transport time, but it also means a lot of fiddly manoeuvring to try and actually hit collision volumes. Good times. Not a fan. Oh, biologicals on this Urea world. I was not expecting that, but again, those conditions are mighty nasty. Even with our shielding, I'm not willing to do that. Possibly found ourselves in a slightly more hostile part of the galaxy. Everything here seemingly just slightly outside of our comfort zone for difficulty. Carbide. Nice. Class 4 tectonics, you say. We'll just see about that. How bad can it be, I wonder? It seems a lot more reasonable than some of the others that we've seen. I'll take it. What a relief compared to some of the other things that we've happened across recently. Can we make it all the way off without anything bad happening? Yep. Go team. Purple world. I was about to say, I wonder what type of world this purple world is. Right there on the tin. Is this going to be a blue world? Pretty close. Good old Azure world. I knew it. More biologicals, but again, more nastiness. And that is not what we're here for right now. Ooh, that's possibly worth it. If I am slightly less verbose than usual, folks, it is because I have a little bit of cold and feeling a bit croaky, so I'm not trying to... interesting. So it doesn't look like any of these things are actually going to be hitting us, so we should just be able to collect them, which I like quite a lot. I think we're definitely going to harvest all the things from here. Ow. Did I just shoot the... I think I might have just shot a resource and it disappeared. That's not fun. Oh, goodness me, we're nearly dead. We don't want that. Let's try that again. Good times. Really is getting amongst us, isn't it? Okay. Oh dear. I saw that coming, but I wasn't quite quick enough. Silly me. Small price to pay for progress. Oof, that hurt. So we might just move around and collect all of the bits that we can find easily. Where have you gone, little fellow? Come back. They move around quite quickly, and this steering is kind of nuts sometimes, so hypersensitive right when you don't need it to be, and super sensitive right when you don't need it to be. That was a near call. Whoops, missed you. Where'd you go? Just the constant to and fro of my attention from one part of the screen to the other. It does get very, very draining. Particularly when you're trying to look for things that are semi-dodgeable. The earthquake bits and pieces you do have a little bit of a chance of actually avoiding. Not so much the lightning strikes. Whoops. Slightly mistimed. Ah, good. We did it. So thinning things out pretty quickly. That was actually... Whoa, boy, we're nearly dead there again. 2 more to go. This is taking up a surprising amount of my attention. Good times. Excellent. All right. Well, that certainly knocked us about a bit, but those biologicals getting us more material for the Melnorm. Pardon me. Always a welcome development. I'm going to hold out high hopes of that golden coloured planet there. What have we got? Not a lot. It's a bit of a dud. I'm going to upgrade that from a bit of a dud to a complete dud. What have you got for me? Treasure World? Surely. Oh no, I had it all wrong. Again, some biologicals, but we've already lost so many folks to rough weather here. Certainly don't want to lose any more. Oh, look, I actually remembered the layout better than I had expected to. Something to be said for all of that tight clustering being so visually memorable. Okay, chondrite. Not good. Class 7 tectonics. Nope. There's just one more to look at, and I think given how low our crew is getting here, we're going to have to duck back to Earth pretty swiftly. That is not what I wanted. Have to go the long way round. Okay. Good times. A maroon world. Yeah. We could get into the specific colours of some very localised Australian football teams when it comes to maroon, but I'm not going to go there. It's a fun little bit of cryptic nonsense there for you. All right, so just heading back down to this Z-Man system because it looked like there was a tiny little star next to that other star. What is this coming in here for us? That is definitely a Silandro, and I think we're just going to have to... Oh, damn, we missed it. Can I outrun them? I don't think I can. All right. Okay, so definitely Pekunk time. Don't let me down, Yompin. Oh dear. And we didn't get a res. That is unfortunate. Come on, Screech. I believe in you. Or not. Oh dear. That must have been a very, very low health. We're in a bad way here. Also didn't help that I had my fingers on the wrong keys. Anyway, the dank took care of it, as it tends to do. That's a little bit of extra resources for us. We're nearly at 5,000, so that'll be enough to get us a few more ships. I don't know that it's going to get us any more Pekunk, though. I'm not really sure how we're going to go about that, but let's head into this here and see what it is. The Vela system. Interesting. We might be here for a while. There's a few planets to investigate. So typically, dear viewers, these episodes have tended to run at around about a half hour. Ideally, the sort of running time that I'm aiming for tends to be about 25 minutes, but the particulars of this game make that a little bit trickier. But given the highly croaky nature of my voice at the moment, and the fact that I'm feeling rather under the weather, I'm certainly going to try and keep the running time of this episode a little on the shorter side. So part of the appeal of these to you has been just how long the episodes go for. My apologies in advance. My voice is simply not really up to it for a long haul today. So if I am also being uncharacteristically quiet, that's part of the reason. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Planet 3. Good old Planet 3. I've always had good luck with Planet 3's IRL. Little real-life joke there for you. It's a reasonable bunch of stuff, but I don't know that it's going to be worth our time. Given the number of other priorities and potential quests and missions that we're starting to get in the game, really is possibly a matter of only prioritizing high-value things. All right, so there's a slave shield here with an Ur-Quan ship around it, which I was not expecting at all. I don't actually know if we're going to be able to make it in there without getting intercepted. So let's save the game, because if we do manage to make it in there, that would be pretty groovy. Also don't know how many Ur-Quan ships are in this particular fleet. It's one ship on the map, but that doesn't really mean much. So it was an unexpected surprise there. I had not been anticipating finding something here. How curious. All right, let's try and be a bit tricky. Hopefully they're going to come out and follow us. They are. So fortunately, the Ur-Quan ships do tend to be a little on the slow side. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to intercept that. Let's see if we can draw them out a little bit further away. That's good. And we do a run straight in. All right, we made it. Who are we going to be talking to? We are not really talking to anything, a water world. So we can't do any scanning on it at all. Vela Planet 1. And we can't dispatch anything down to the surface, so that's worth keeping in mind. Planet 1 of this system has a slave shield around it, but we don't know what for. Curious. I guess we could talk to the Ur-Quan and maybe they would tell us. And I guess we did save the game, so maybe we'll just do that. If we get blown up, at least we'll have the knowledge. Just the one ship. Let's converse. So, the offspring has returned to its nest. When you left the system, our ship was near enough to detect your translation into hyperspace. Oh, this was the planet that we were on at the start of the game. Though we lost your hyperspace spore, we were able to backtrack your path here to this star system. And what did we find? An outlaw culture, humans outside of a slave shield. You will note that this oversight has been rectified. Now we shall finish the job. Interesting. Curious. All right, I am actually going to go with this ship. It's all up to you, Kirk. We need to Kobayashi Maru this. This is not going to go terribly well because we are slowly going to get caught. And it doesn't take a lot. So we're going to try and shoot as much as we can. So we've knocked them down to about half. Sorry, Kirk. So that Ur-Quan ship can just slightly outrun us, which is a real pain. And we don't have any. We don't have anything here at the moment that we can use to shoot those fighters. Although getting a point defense laser is one of the options I think that we now have at our disposal. Whew, that was a near thing. So hopefully taking out a few of those. Awfully close there to getting a kill. The more of them they launch, the lower health they are, clearly, because those fighters do... Oh dear. That was not great. We're dead. We're definitely dead. Oh, one left on the Ur-Quan. That's a mighty drag. Okay. So, let's get this game loaded. And we'll probably just ignore that for the time being. But now we know where that star system is. Isn't that handy? Okay, have a look at the rest of the things here. I don't know if there's any way that we end up recontacting that particular colony. It's been so long since I played this game that some of the finer details of things do escape me. But that was a cool little find to stumble across unexpectedly. On a star system that, as best as I can tell, doesn't actually appear to show up on the star map because it's too close to Z-Man, which is looming quite large as a supergiant star. I think this is the last one for us to look at, and then we'll make a beeline back to Sol. A vinylogous world. Made of vinyl, I assume. Just crawling with biologicals. No hipsters on this one. That is unexpected. So we've already got a save game here from talking to the Ur-Quan, so I'm going to risk it. And we'll just get moving back towards Sol. Definitely need a restock. We don't have all that much money in the cargo holds, but that's okay. We can do ourselves a little bit of a favour, restocking on fuel and what have you, and then I think we're going to head up to the northwest, as I was discussing earlier, just to round out a little bit of nearby surveying for the early stages of this game. Be curious to know what this would be like if there were fast travel in a Skyrim style where you could just hop around the galaxy. But fast travel, one of those things that's a bit of a double-edged sword. And to be honest, I'm not really a fan of it unless I'm in a very particular situation where I'm trying to save time. Let's go and have a chat with our old friend, the Starbase Commander, see if they have any more news for us. Hello, Captain Clapton. No, they don't. All right, so we'll just offload the minerals. We're not going to have an awful lot. Little bits and pieces. That was enough to get us a fair bit. Is there any other background info that we've got here? No, nothing really jumping out. Goodbye, Commander. Farewell, Captain Clapton. Thanks. Always nice when people use their manners. So time for a restock. Cranking up that fuel. We clearly need more people in our fleet as well because we're not looking too good. Good times. So ship-wise, we don't have a lot of options here. So we are going to get another one. Actually, given how many we've got here, we better get 2. And we better crew everything up. So we're not going to have a lot of tactical variety here, even though the Dank tends to be able to handle things most of the time when we run into trouble. It's better to not always be relying on it. Ideally, you want to have a range of ships here that can handle a range of situations. We're definitely not at that point, though. So let's plot ourselves a little bit of a course here on the star map. Just get ourselves nice and stationary. The Pecunk's still moving backwards. They will probably ping-pong back the other way, I guess, when they get to where they're going. Alpha Velorum, that does sound nice, although Beta Velorum is closer, and that bypasses everybody's hostile space. So we might make a start towards that, but that is all the time we have for this part of the Let's Play. Thank you so much for tuning in. Apologies again for the croaky voice. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the episode. Please tell a friend, and please do tell a friend if you think they might enjoy this. You can also subscribe to this channel if you'd like to be notified when other episodes are released. We just had 2 episodes of our podcast come out this month, a standard episode and a bonus episode. You can check those out right here on the channel. But come back again soon for more Star Control 2.